But without further ado, can I please introduce you to the President of Northern Ireland Chamber, Mark Nodder, Group Managing Director of Rights Group, and of course, member of the Economic Advisory Group to the Northern Ireland Economy Minister. Mark, you're very welcome indeed.
Good morning, everyone, and it's fantastic to see so many people braving the traffic, braving the weather, and being with us today. Thank you so much for making the time to join the Chamber of Commerce for our latest Growing Something Brilliant event. Today in the room we have representatives from our largest companies down to our smallest SMEs and sole traders, from inward foreign investors, from government, from non-governmental organizations, and we're going to challenge ourselves today to grow our local economy and to make this special place better to live in, to work in, and to visit. So with this team and with your participation, how can we fail? Okay, well look, before we get carried away, let's remind ourselves firstly of the challenge. The Chamber of Commerce recently commissioned economist Maureen O'Reilly, Maureen's with us today, thank you Maureen, to conduct a detailed study of local business. And the work included a survey that drew responses from 600 local businesses. It was followed up with interviews and also workshops with Chamber members. We wanted to understand more about Northern Ireland's business base and export prospects. Now, the findings are challenging. So, in numbers terms, we have the smallest business and employment segment across any of the UK regions. We have 114,000 private sector enterprises, but that's just 2% of the UK total. We employ just over 500,000 people. Around 50,000 of those businesses aren't registered for VAT or PAYE. 71% have no employees. Just 1% employ more than 250. And sadly, that business base has in recent years been contracting. Since 2007, our overall business population has fallen by 13%. And at this point, we're still one of 2 UK regions where that business base is continuing to contract. We're also the only UK region where the business birth rate actually remains in decline. We have only 1,400 exporters of goods. Now, to give a sense of scale, that's just 1.2% of the existing business base involved in exports of manufactured goods. And this number has fallen from a peak of about 1,700 in 2009, and it's fallen faster than any other UK region. Now, on a more positive note, we are seeing improvements in the value of export sales, both in manufacturing and services, and we are making gains in markets outside the EU. The number of non-EU exporters is increasing, but despite that, our export sales growth isn't as strong as it is in other UK regions. There are barriers to growth that I'm sure we all are aware of, finding new customers and markets. Actually, we still have skills shortages, specifically in areas like engineering and IT, and more generally in international sales and language skills. We still face problems with facing adequate access to finance. Also, access and frankly the timeliness of business support, and there are others. It's not a pretty picture, and yet local companies, many in this room, many elsewhere, large and small, have managed their way through 4 years of downturn and not only kept going, but have managed to grow. Well, we applaud them today, and we applaud also those entrepreneurs who continue to risk their livelihoods in the pursuit of their dreams and ambitions because they can inspire us. They can rebuild our confidence. And confidence is what this day is all about. It's having belief in our ability to defy the odds, to see opportunity where previously we saw gloom, and to take strength and encouragement from each other. Confidence will generate momentum, and it will sustain us on the path to economic recovery and growth. When we launched this campaign, with the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, in Ballymena in May this year. We invited private and public sectors to join us in charting a new course for Northern Ireland PLC. We asked everybody at that first event to ask themselves and each other one simple question: how can I grow my business? We wanted to hear from local business people who've grown fabulous companies in Northern Ireland and ask them, how did you do it? We wanted to challenge the large manufacturers and ask them, how can you take on more apprentices and graduates? We brought our biggest exporters and our smallest exporters and our aspiring exporters together, and we shared knowledge, and we asked, how do you break into these new markets? We talked to SMEs with less than 5 employees and asked, what would persuade you to recruit another one? So growing something brilliant is about taking inspiration from each other and ultimately about saying to our political leaders, this is what you can do for us right now under existing legislation and within the competency of the executive and the assembly. This potentially is a moment when we can step away from a culture of dependence and frankly stop looking to others to bail us out, because I believe we can help ourselves. We can learn from each other's experiences, and we can work in partnership with our own government. You're all leaders today. We are all leaders here today. Leaders of companies, within companies, leaders within public and non-governmental organizations, political leaders. We are the people who can actually make a difference. I believe that leadership is a privilege, and with that privilege comes a responsibility. The responsibility for changing this economy for the better is down to us. There is no they in leadership. They won't let us is not an acceptable excuse. We have to find a way to do what must be done. We're here today because we can't rely on politicians alone to make the changes we need. And that's not because they aren't capable. Some of them clearly are. But the fact is that very few politicians want to confront big controversial issues and tell people home truths, because their time frame is governed by the next election. And that's why I think business has to become part of the solution, sharing our expertise and our networks to help others grow. You know, there's a great example in the skills exchange coordinated by Ballymena Chamber of Commerce, where Michelin, Wrightbus, and other companies locally are sharing their knowledge and skills with local SMEs with the aim of helping those companies grow. And the only way to guarantee long-term prosperity is to grow our businesses, to meet the needs and the aspirations of this community for a resurgent Northern Ireland. So, from me, thank you again, all of you, for being here today. I know that Anne and the team are going to deliver a memorable experience, and genuinely, I hope that you'll draw from it the inspiration and the confidence that you need to grow something brilliant. Thank you.